Welcome back, everybody. Now, the Urban Circus will be making its way to the Teatro, Montecasino, from the 13th to the 15th of September this year. Now, this is a story of survival, struggle and fun in the city. It portrays a delicate and acrobatic dance through the thrills and dangers of urban life. After its sold-out seasons at the National Arts Festival, Hilton Festival and the Cirk's venue in Cresta, the producers of the show have decided to bring audiences an even better and a bigger version of the circus. This morning, we chat to the Director Daniel Buckland on what can be expected. Daniel, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Finally, you bring the circus back to our shores.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the preparation that went to bringing this show together.
Yeah, it's been a long process, which has been it's been an honor to be part of, because often working on theatre projects and live performance projects, you've got a month or a month and a half and you make it and then it's live and off in the world. But with this one, we started off a long time ago, a very small version of the show. And over the last 7 years, we've tweaked, we've added, we've shifted stuff around. And now it's in a place where it's much bigger and brighter and more beautiful, bigger cast, more exciting, better acrobatics. So I am very pleased with where it's at.
So are we going to see elephants and lions this time around?
No, the elephants and lions were badly performing, so we fired them after engaging with their lawyers, who were a lot. So that's it.
What was their defense, though?
That they didn't have the same agency as human beings, different quality of agency. No, I mean, that's an important thing to address, is that often when we think of circus, we think of a kind of circus from the olden days. Not that a circus doesn't still exist, but And
the argument is, why are you calling it a circus when there's no animals? Because when you speak of a circus, we expect to see animals. Yes.
I think the core of the circus has always been human ingenuity and human brilliance. And I think the animals were a nice touch, or not a nice touch. I wasn't a big fan of the animals, considering the treatment and the lack of consent for a lion doing a performance in front of an audience. But for me and for the rest of the world, what it's become is the performance-focused, that humans can do things that other humans never expected. And I think that's what you see in the show, is humans like going to new heights, breaking expectations, doing flips and acrobatic skills and holding emotion in performance that I think the audience is going to be surprised, awed and amazed by.
I mean, I'm just looking at some of the slides on the screens. I can tell there's just so much happening, from juggling, acrobatics and, and everything else. So how fit should one be in order to participate in such a feat?
Luckily, I don't have to be that fit as the director. My arms have to be fit to point at them and shout at them occasionally.
Right.
But their level of fitness and their level of physical dedication to the work is a lifelong thing.
Yes.
They don't take breaks, really, and they spend their youth doing gymnastics or cheerleading and stretching and all of these amazing stuff, and then their performance life, their professional life, they are training every single day to do the kind of life-threatening top of the theatre, hanging by literally the tips of their toes with no clip-in guide wire or mats, but to do it with absolute surety. They've got to be absolutely fit and confident to be able to not only hang from your toes, but to be in a scene while you hang from your toes, to show emotion to develop a relationship with the other person that's hanging from their pinky finger. That is, that's a
What could possibly go wrong, though?
What could possibly go wrong? And it's...
And has it ever gone wrong?
I mean,
in your previous experiences?
In the biggest circuses in the world, there have been mistakes. And with this particular company, and that's partly why I work with them, is there's such a dedication to the safety and the craft that nothing's gone wrong. Sometimes there's a twisted ankle or a bit of a strain, there's tiredness from working too hard.
Nothing life-threatening, though.
Nothing life-threatening that I've seen. I mean, that's the thrill from the audience's perspective, is going, this person is is risking their life to this performance. But you know, as a performer and as a director, you go, this performer is so skilled, I know that there is very little chance of them hurting themselves.
Right, right. I did mention in the intro that this year's event will be much bigger and better. So what is it that you will cut out, and what is it that you are introducing to make sure that it's even bigger and better than the previous experiences?
Yes, it's a good question. As I say, we've come back to it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And this time, because the Teatro at Montecasino is a huge venue. It's like toweringly tall.
Yeah.
The height of it and the risks of it, and the audience base is a lot bigger, so that is immediately a step up. And certainly the cast, we've got bigger cast than we've ever got. We've added on a number, we've almost added a third onto what previous versions are.
Okay.
So the ensemble of performers who almost never leave stage, all of them doing acrobatic wonderment and excellence, is like significantly better. And we've added on a whole bunch of new acts, new skills, different apparatus, circus tricks and circus things, and also developed the narrative, because not only is it a circus show, but it tells a story about Johannesburg or a city, and someone arriving in the city for the first time and experiencing the crazy, the uniqueness, because we all know Joburg is a trial we love to complain about.
Tell me about it.
And that's the way Joburg is born. We're like, traffic, or like...
You know, someone who's never been to such a show, one may wonder how a story is being told by seeing people swinging in the air and all those... crazy acrobatics, as it were.
Yes, it's a very good question, and it's something it's a puzzle that we're constantly unpicking. But there's story in everything, and the performers hold stories in their bodies about how they've trained. The movement has a story, and for me as a director, it's looking at relationships, it's looking at how different apparatus, like we've got these things called lira, which are metal bars, circular bars, which hang up really high off the rafters that performers spin on. And what we do is translate that into a Joburg traffic scene, where there are steering wheels and performers running on, and a new person arriving from outside the city experiencing this craziness of Joburg traffic for the first time on the street, dodging cars, seeing people go past, wanting to establish a relationship, being screamed at, different kinds of buskers on the street. So every scene and every acrobatic act, we find it as a lens into a different part of the city and this person's interaction with that
What an impeccable representation of what Joburg life could be.
Thanks.
Jeez, thank you so much for joining us.
What a pleasure. So yeah, please come and see the show. It's from
Details?
the 13th to the 15th of September. So it's that weekend, so you've only got a week to book. It's at the incredible Montecasino Teatro. And you can book on web tickets. They're matinee shows, which will also be fun to come watch.
All right, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time.
What a pleasure.
All the best.
You.
That was Daniel Buckland, the director of the Urban Circus, which will be held at the Teatro Montecasino from the 13th to the 15th of September this year.